Okay. All right, so welcome back to you guys. Welcome back from lunch. You guys have a good lunch? Eat some good food? Yeah? You guys had good food? Okay. So we're going to move into this next topic of helping you understand how to integrate the teachings into your life. And then we'll talk about the field trip, and we'll talk about an activity this afternoon. If you guys would like to participate, I'll share everything with you guys. So integrating the teachings into your life is actually really straightforward. These are the things that you would like to do on a regular, ongoing basis. Is first, attend weekly classes, either in person or online, and then attend in-depth learning opportunities like this on an as-needed basis, right? Because you'll go through certain periods of learning where you're learning really deeply, and then maybe you'll kind of like go away for a while and implement those things that you learned, and then maybe you need some more. Those are the in-depth ones. But then you'd like to trickle the teachings into your mind too. That's where like ongoing weekly classes is really good. So like the Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday classes, you could be easily taking those to just kind of trickle the teachings into your mind. You guys probably know I don't drink coffee anymore, but I think you understand this analogy. Like if you've ever had drip coffee, it like really tastes good, right? Because it's like the drip coffee. So that's what you would like to do, is drip it into your mind. So like this book, that's the next part, is you wouldn't want to sit down and just read it all the way through in 1 week or 2 weeks, right? Because you're not going to retain it. You're not going to be able to understand it and fully independently verify each aspect of the book. You'd like to just drip it into the mind, not only with the classes, but with the book, that you'd like to just read like 10, 20 minutes a day. Even if you sit down and you're like reading a topic, you're like, oh, this is really good. And you just put it down, right? Get used to being able to take little small bites. Because it's like if you sat down and took a big bite of pizza and you tried to chew it, it'd be really hard to digest it. But if you took little tiny bites, it's really easy to chew it and digest it. Because you're not just reading for completion. You're reading to independently verify it and cultivate wisdom. So if you read it this way, 10 to 20 minutes a day, it'll take you about 6 months, 7 months to read it. If you do just a chapter a week, that's really all you need. And some of these chapters actually only take 15 or 20 minutes to read it. So you just do a chapter a week because you need to independently verify it. There were times where I sat down, I was planning to read for a certain period of time with the teachings of the Buddha, and I'd be 2 minutes, 3 minutes into my reading, and I'd be like, oh, that's deep. I need to independently verify that. And I would like step away from it for several days. And I'd go off into the world and try to practice that thing and see if it was actually true. And then once I confirmed it, then I would come back and read some more. So you might need to do that sometimes where you're intending to read even for 20 minutes. And the first 2 or 3 minutes, you're like, oh, I can't go any further. I need to independently verify this. So take your time with the first book. There's some students that have told me they've read it 8 to 12 times. They've been studying with me 6, 7, 8 years at this point. They've read it 8 to 12 times. They say every single time they learn something from the book, right? So this isn't the kind of book that you just plow through and then you put it away. You're going to spend time with it and read it and reread it over and over and over again. Then you'd like to practice the way of practice, right? You'd like to be able to have a daily practice of generosity where you're frequently giving more than is strictly required in any given situation without any expectation of anything in return. Then you'd like to be able to practice. Oh, by the way, with generosity, remember, integrate it into your life in a way that's really easy and straightforward for you, right? Don't feel like you have to drive 3 hours out of your way to do something and then another 3 hours back in order to just practice that one act of generosity. Maybe you do that occasionally, right? Like maybe once a year, twice a year. Like we go to an orphanage twice a year here, and it takes us about an hour to get there, an hour back. And we stop at the store and we usually buy a bunch of stuff. So it's like a whole day thing. It's like a 6-hour thing. We do that twice a year here of the whole community. We'll go out and do that kind of thing. But that's just twice a year. But all throughout your day, and all throughout your week and months, you can be practicing generosity. So that's why, like, if I'm at the market buying myself some pineapple and I see some avocados, I know my wife likes avocados and they're kind of rare in Thailand. So I'll get some avocados for her. It takes me like 2 minutes at the most to go ahead and get those avocados. So you like to do things that you can integrate into your life. You're getting yourself a chocolate bar, buy an extra one for somebody else, right? So that'll help you to be able to practice your generosity. You might not even know who you're going to give it to yet, right? You just buy the extra chocolate bar, and now you get back to your hotel and your housekeeper is cleaning up your room. It's like, oh, ma'am, here you go. This is for you, right? You don't even know who you're going to give it to yet. You just know you're going to practice generosity with somebody, right? So this is the way you can practice it, where you just integrate it into your life. It doesn't have to take you a significant amount of time to practice generosity. Then you would like to improve your moral conduct. On a daily basis, be practicing improved moral conduct. One of the things that I used to do is I used to review the 5 factors of well-spoken speech in the morning. Then I would go out in my day practicing have meetings and conversations. And then at lunch, I would look at them again to see which ones did I do well and which ones I wasn't doing well, so that I could almost put it under a microscope and work on it. And then in the afternoon, I would have a refreshed memory of the 5 factors, and now I would do better with it. And one of the things you can do is this poster right here. You can actually download it from our website and have it on your phone because it's easy to look at. And then I have it on my phone where each little individual box, I have it as an image on my phone. So if you'd like me to transfer it to you, I can transfer it to you because it's really easy to refresh your memory to have that kind of thing on your phone. Because then when you're like getting ready to go into a lawyer's office, maybe you're getting a divorce from your partner, or maybe you're going into a business meeting or something, you can pull this up, refresh your memory for 2 or 3 minutes, and now you go into the meeting, right? So this will help you to be able to have this. That's one of the nice things about having these devices, is you can use them in order to help you remember the teachings. Even that picture of the Buddha, having it on your phone, it's kind of nice because when someone calls you, you see the picture of the Buddha and you remember, right speech, right? And you remember to practice the teachings. So you can do that kind of thing to help your mind to improve the moral conduct. Then you'd like to build up your meditation practice. It's going to take about 6 months, a year, or 2 years to build up to 2 or 3 sessions per day for 30 minutes. But you guys know this morning we meditated for 30 minutes, right? So if that's feels comfortable for you, then keep with that. But don't be surprised if you go through periods of time where your mind's all shaken up. Remember, you're not interested in judging your meditation as good or bad. All meditation is beneficial. If your mind is really busy during your meditation and you get to the end of that meditation, that wasn't a bad meditation. That was helpful because you had mindfulness all the way through your meditation. You know that your mind is more busy today than typical. And now, maybe if you have any impactful decisions, you kind of delay those for that period of time until you feel like it's better for you to be able to make those decisions. So don't get trapped into that, judging your meditation. Sometimes people use their meditation to determine if they're making progress on the path to enlightenment. This is unwise. What's going to determine if you're making progress on the path to enlightenment is your relationships, the condition of your mind in your relationships. Each day, day by day, are you able to relate and interact with people in a more loving and kind way? Are your conversations going better? Are you noticing your relationships improving? That's what's going to determine if you're making progress on the path to enlightenment. Your meditation isn't a good indication of whether you're making progress or not, because it's going to go up and down throughout your practice because it's impermanent, right? But if you're building wisdom and your relationships are getting better and better and better and better, that's an indication to you that your mind's improving, because now you're able to interact in these relationships in a better way. So that would be a better indication for you, is if you're making progress, is look at your relationships and look at the condition of your mind. Are you generally grumpy and irritable and agitated and frustrated, and now that's coming out in your conversations with people? Or is your mind generally tending to be uplifted and bright and cheerful and glad, and you're having positive conversations and wholesome conversations, and you're having wholesome results occurring? This is going to be an indication for you if things are improving or not. So your meditation is an important component, because without that, you wouldn't be able to practice the wholesome moral conduct. Your mind's going to need to be trained through the mental discipline section of the Eightfold Path. in order to implement the moral conduct. Then, as you're going forward, seeking guidance from a teacher. You're going to need that from time to time, because learning in these classes and learning in the books, all that kind of stuff, that gives you a foundation. But when you have that one specific issue here or there that you're going to need help with, that's where you need to reach out. Students reach out to me all the time, whether it's by messenger, WhatsApp, email, line, all these different things. Sometimes they might ask if we can talk. We have online personal guidance sessions, or they meet in person. Many different ways you can get help, because you're going to have situations from time to time that come up and you're not quite sure how to apply the teachings, and that's where you get help. I will never tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. That's a choice for you to make, but I'll just give you the different options of what you could consider. Kind of think of me like a coach, or like a life coach, an advisor, right? Where you're going to ultimately make the decision that you think is best, but maybe you reach out to some different people to be able to get some advice. And one of those things you might reach out to is the teachings of the Buddha, because what I'm going to share with you is the natural law of karma. If you make decisions this way, here's what you're going to experience. If you make decisions that way, here's what you're going to experience. And this is going to help you to apply the teachings in a day-to-day basis. So you're going to need that guidance. Sometimes the ego is going to be in there trying to hinder you from getting the guidance that you need. So be careful of that the ego is going to be playing tricks on you, making you think that you're more awake than you really are. And then when you're getting guidance from a teacher, the mind's going to sometimes maybe try to reject it and be like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to do that, or no, that's not the way it is. That's not the way it is. Your mind's going to want to hold on to what it's currently thinking. So you're going to need to get guidance, step away, reflect on that, think about it. You don't need to be in a rush to make any decisions in your life. There's really very few decisions in the world that are so time sensitive that you have to make them like right now. For the most part, 99.9% of the decisions you make, you can take your time. You don't need to rush to make a decision, because when you're rushing to make a decision, you're going to make an unwise decision. Every single decision you make, when you make that decision, it's going to produce results. It's either going to produce wholesome results or unwholesome results. And if you're rushing to make decisions, you're making your decisions through craving. And now you guys know craving is going to produce unwholesome karma for you. So you would like to take your time, gather all the information, and then make a decision. There's been some decisions that I've made that it took me maybe 3 months, even 6 months to gather up all the information before I was ready to make that decision. Because before then, I didn't have all the information I needed. And I knew that if I made any decision prior to having all the information, that it was going to produce unwholesome results. So take your time. There's really no rush, because where you're rushing to, all you're going to do is die. That's where we're all headed, to death. So where are you rushing to go, right? Where are you rushing to get to? You're never going to be done your work. You're always going to be working to some degree. So sometimes people try to hurry up and rush through their work so they can get to some magical time where they can just sit back and put their feet up and do nothing. You're always going to be working all the way to the end of this life. You got something you're going to need to be doing at some point, and all we're headed towards is death anyway. So why rush to get there? We don't need to hurry up to get there, right? Just take your time, enjoy the journey, right? So smell the roses, stop and smell the roses. Okay. So these are the things that you would like to be doing on a daily and weekly and monthly basis: attending classes regularly and in-depth opportunities when needed, reading the book slowly. And you've got not just this book, but there's 12 others waiting for you too. So it's going to take some time to gradually work your way through that, right? And then practicing generosity, improving your moral conduct, improving your meditation practice, and staying consistent with that. And remember, you're going to miss meditation sometimes. It's going to happen. But just consistently be building up your practice, and then get help as needed. Okay, so any questions on this? No questions? Let's see if we have anything online. Okay, I don't see anything online. Okay, so let's talk about the field trip a little bit. And I'll share with you guys what we're going to do, and then you can ask questions. What we usually do is we meet here at 9 a.m. If you guys would like to come a little bit early, you can. Usually the new people who are coming, because there'll be probably some people here that didn't attend the class, they'll come as well. I usually suggest for them to get here at 8:45, but at 9 o'clock is when I'm going to start. We're going to do meditation. I'll welcome everybody because there'll be other people here. I'll welcome everybody. I'll do meditation. And then after meditation, I'll just give a little bit of talk for the people who aren't here right now to explain to them what it is we're going to be doing during the tour. And then what I'll have done is I would have organized transportation, the red trucks that go around. I organized them to be able to be with us all day long so that they will then take us to Wat Omong first, which is about 20 minutes outside the city. It's a Thai forest temple. And I tour you guys around the Thai Forest Temple, teaching you the artwork, the architecture, the symbolism, helping you understand the teachings of the Buddha based on what you see at the temple. And we spend a good hour and a half there. Then we leave and we go up the mountain and we go to a hill tribe restaurant. And they have a real thick menu. So they have a little bit of everything. They have vegan, vegetarian, meat. They have everything. And if there's something that you were interested in that they don't have, I've seen them actually go get it from other places. So they're going to take really good care of us, have a nice lunch, relax. Then we're going to go into Wat Doi Suthep, which is a different type of temple. It's up on the top of the mountain. These are the two different branches of teachings here in Thailand. There's the Thai Forest Temple, and then there's what I refer to as the City Temple, but really they're called Dhammayut and Dhammagai. These are the two ways that the Thai people refer to them. So we're going to visit these two temples, and they're very different type of temples. And by visiting them on the same day, you can see the big contrast between the two of them. And then after that, we come down here. We get back here around 5 o'clock usually, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. And then, of course, tomorrow evening, if you guys would like to hang around, there's a temple movie fun night where we're going to be showing a movie. Usually we break out the popcorn machine. Tomorrow, the movie is called How to Make $1 Million Before Grandma Dies. It's a Thai movie, and apparently it's like a very popular movie in Thailand. So I've never seen it. I have no idea what it's about, but apparently it's really interesting movie, funny movie, I think, kind of like drama, funny kind of thing. So we're going to watch that tomorrow at 6, starting at 6. If you guys would like to hang around for that, you can. But nonetheless, that's the tour. And everything that you need is available along the way. So if you have like 600, 800, 1,000 baht in your pocket, you'll be fine because there's food and water and all the different things that you need. There's a little bit of an entrance fee at the temples, but it's very minimal. It's like 20, 30 baht. And usually what the students do is they share the cost of the transportation, and it usually works out to about 200 or 300 baht per person, depending on how many people we have and how many trucks we have. So that's our plan for tomorrow. Do you guys have any questions on that? No questions? So if you guys run into anybody at any point and they would like to come tomorrow, you're welcome to invite them. Everybody and anybody's welcome. There'll be other people here besides you guys. Okay? All right. So now for our activity. So up to this point, every morning I've been initiating meditation with you guys, and you guys are choosing to meditate with me. And then in the afternoon, I'm teaching you about meditation, and then I'm initiating meditation, and you guys are choosing to meditate with me. Well, today, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to initiate anything at all, because now you guys are transitioning towards being able to make whether or not you're going to make decisions on your own to actually meditate or not, right? So I'm not going to initiate the meditation, but if you guys would like to meditate, you can. You're welcome to hang out here and meditate, whether it's breathing mindfulness meditation in the seated, lying, standing, or walking position. You're welcome to meditate if you like. Or if you have questions, maybe there's certain things that came up for you. Maybe you heard my talk on Monday and you got your questions answered then, but now some new questions have come up from that talk. Or maybe from Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. If you have questions, you can ask me questions and I will help you, either as a class or individually. You can do that. Or sometimes people like to practice generosity to clean up the classroom, because the classroom was actually clean before you guys came. And then sometimes students feel like, oh, well, let's leave the classroom nice for the next group of people who come. So if people decide to clean, cleaning the bathrooms, sweeping, different things like this, sometimes people like to do a little bit of cleaning. So if that's what you'd like to do, you're welcome to do something like that. You can do one of these, you can do two of them, you can do all three of them, or you can do none of them. It's up to you. It's your life, your decisions, your results, right? But these are some options. It's kind of like I've been teaching you all week long, and now it's like the lab, right? If you ever in a science class, they usually teach you some things, and then at the end of the week, there's like a science lab where the students go and they kind of dabble with whatever scientific things that the teacher has taught them. So it's the same kind of thing. You guys can choose to do any of these things or none of these things. It's totally up to you. But I'm just going to end our class today by once again thanking you guys for your interest to learn and grow and develop on the path. And if there's anything that you need from me, I'm going to hang out as long as you guys are here. Not everybody needs to do the same thing. You guys can choose for yourself like what it is you'd like to do, whether you're staying here or leaving or what have you. But if you need me at all, just come grab me and I'd be pleased to help you with anything you need help with. So perhaps I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you for all your dedication and diligence to learning and growing on the path, because as you heard me say yesterday, it's the very best thing you could do for yourself, those close to you, and all of humanity. So thank you. Okay? Yeah, you're welcome. And remember, you have your pictures up here if you guys would like a picture as well of the Buddha. Mm-hmm.